Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the NSF Non-GMO webinar for dietary supplements. My name is Janelle Abro, and I am the BDM here for CVV here at NSF International. I previously worked under our beverage quality program. So today we'll be discussing the program overview, the scope of certification, process, and specifics on dietary supplements. At the very end of the presentation, we'll have time for questions, so please submit them in the chat box. The NSF Non-GMO certification has certified over 100 manufacturers and 1,500 products and growing. So if you're wondering why NSF Non-GMO, this program has been designed to certify products under our internal NSF Non-GMO protocol, and it has global recognition with use of the logo internationally. It was created to assure the integrity of GMO claims and to grow the breadth and diversity of non-GMO verified products sold at retail and non-GMO certified ingredients sold throughout the supply chain. Our certification incorporates elements from the EU labeling requirements and pulls best practice from commonly used leading food safety standards in the evaluation process. The basic tenets of NSF Non-GMO program are consistent with other compliance verification programs: segregation, traceability, supplier approval, monitoring, and testing. The primary aim of NSF Non-GMO program is to create clear production, testing, and evaluation criteria for the determination of foods or products to be considered non-GMO. The NSF Non-GMO certification program aims to provide a solution for suppliers to demonstrate the supply chain and consumers that they are mindful of GMO concerns and are taking active measures to provide non-GMO ingredients to the marketplace. The newest version of the protocol contains provisions related to the National Bioengineered Food Disclosure Standard, so products certified to NSF Non-GMO should not need to make any bioengineered disclosures. Here we see that the non-GMO label claim is the highest percentage that consumers feel is most important, with gluten-free following right below it. So this shows us that consumers are willing to pay for a product that has a certified label claim. Next, let's talk about the scope of NSF Non-GMO and the core requirements. Applicants must demonstrate effective implementation of procedures which control the integrity of the product and process by preventing deviations from NSF Non-GMO compliant formulations and procedures. These procedures would include documented SOPs or facility certifications to show the operations has the systems to support NSF Non-GMO requirements. Some of the key systems needed are listed above, and these provide a risk level decision on the facility. We've got product integrity, cleaning and sanitation, traceability, sampling and test methods, training, product withdrawal. All of this can sound complicated, but if you have a HACCP plan or if the facility has a third-party certification, they'll likely have most of these SOPs in place that NSF Non-GMO would require, and we can usually accept these SOPs directly from the HACCP plan. Some examples of third-party certs can be BRC, SQF, ISO, Organic, FSSC, and so on. So NSF will evaluate these SOPs during the application review process to confirm they are suitable for control of GE. The process begins with you sending required documents to me so that I can quote and contract you for the application submission. One of the most frequently asked questions we get is how long will the process take? Well, we typically estimate the NSF Non-GMO certification process can take anywhere between 4 to 8 weeks. Now, the process can be shorter if an audit isn't required, and even shorter if all of the requested documentation is submitted at application review. So audits are generally not required, especially if the facility is currently certified for organic, third-party certified GMP, or a GFSI benchmark scheme. This slide shows some of the required documents that we typically ask for. We ask for product formulation, process flow charts with a description of facilities and activities, methods for confirming the integrity of ingredients or final products sourced under certified non-GMO claims, Methods for prevention of commingling and cross-contamination of ingredients and finished products from receiving through processing, packaging, storage, and final distribution. And lastly, we'll ask for methods for prevention of commingling and or cross-contamination of packaging materials and storage containers where risk to integrity exists. So what is classified as a dietary supplement? It's a product other than tobacco that's intended to supplement the diet and contains one or more of these dietary ingredients: a vitamin, mineral, herb, botanical, and amino acid. It can be in the form of a pill, capsule, tablet, powder, gummy, or even in liquid form. Next, we'll talk about the high risk and dietary supplements. Animal products and ingredients of animal origin, which are an ingredient in a finished food, dietary supplement, or other consumer goods, are considered high risk and shall be derived from animals in compliance with the protocol requirements under Section 5. So ingredients in livestock feed rations that comprise 5% or more of the feed formulation cannot be from genetically modified crops, and animals should be raised following a life cycle management schedule. This list represents crops and animals for which a genetically modified variety is available. Any ingredient or product derived from one of these will require evidence to show that the genetically modified version was not used. So as a side note, this list is not inclusive, and it's going to continuously be evaluated and updated as needed. So additionally, many of these microorganisms used to produce ingredients via fermentation are genetically modified. So ingredients or products produced using microorganisms will also require evidence to show the microorganism has not been genetically modified. Products that are certified under the protocol are reviewed following similar requirements as products certified organic. Organic products are allowed to contain up to 5% of the ingredients listed in the National List of Substances Allowed in Certified Organic, as long as a signed affidavit stating genetically modified materials were not used to produce the ingredients. The only exception is riboflavin. It is made via fermentation with genetically modified microorganisms, but it's commercially unavailable in any other form. So because it's commercially unavailable and DNA is not present in the final product, this allowance has been made on a temporary basis until we reevaluate and the next time the protocol is revised. This slide describes exempt ingredients, which are ingredients that are not derived from a biological source, so minerals or petrochemicals. Processing age, which are substances that are added during processing but are removed with good manufacturing practices. Ingredients derived from non-GM microorganisms, fermentation feedstock, except in fermented foods like vinegar, beer, wine, liquor, enzymes, except when they are a claimed ingredient in dietary supplements, seeds, crops, and ingredients derived from crops not available in genetically modified form, carbonated water, and mushroom substrates. So as I stated earlier, high-risk ingredients in the formula that are individually or combined at less than 0.9% of the formula are exempt as long as the final ingredient has been subjected to a refinement process validated to make any modified genetic material in the food undetectable, or a certificate of analysis or other records of testing appropriate to the specific ingredient or finished product are available and that they confirm the absence of modified genetic material. So here are some examples. Let's look at what options NSF NonGMO has to confirm an input's compliance to the protocol. So this slide provides us examples of these options, provided that the input did not qualify for exemption under the 0.9% per product threshold. For example, if your product formulation had corn flour present at 3%, it would not qualify for the 0.9% per product threshold, so it would have to demonstrate compliance in another way. So one way could be that the corn flour is certified organic, or it can be verified through the Non-GMO project, in which case you'd have to submit corn flour's organic certificate and summary, or the Non-GMO project certification and web listing. Another option may be that the corn flour will need to be sampled and tested, in which case you'd have to submit sampling and testing plan laid out in our Section 5 of the protocol, and submit test results ensuring that the tested sample has sufficient intact DNA prior to achieving your initial verification. So another option could be that the corn originates from a country that prohibits the cultivation of genetically modified crops. Another example could include an animal-derived ingredient such as milk, butter, and honey. So again, assuming that these inputs would not qualify for the 0.9% per product threshold. So a milk present at 15% of a finished product has options similar to the high-risk crop. If the milk is certified organic or non-GMO project verified, then the only documents that would need to be submitted would include the certificate and summary or the web listing. The feed would not be assessed. However, if the milk is not certified to a non-GMO IP system, then the animal's feed ration and compliance to life cycle feeding requirements would be assessed. The animal-derived input must comply with the high-risk requirements. And lastly, for honey, if the honey was not certified organic or non-GMO project verified, then the NSF NonGMO requires that the forage zone of the beers and supplement feed be assessed. So these are the logos that can appear on your client's packaging after certification. The NSF NonGMO logo can be used for products sold internationally in accordance with local regulations. These logos, unfortunately, cannot be altered, but the use of the URL www.nsfnongmo.org is not required for dietary supplements. So under our certification, we have the NSF NonGMO certification and the Made with Non-GMO. So this Made with Non-GMO content claim would be if you put Made with Non-GMO X accompanied by the statement X ingredient adheres to NSF Non-GMO requirements. It could be permitted when the claim ingredient is compliant to the protocol and when 70% or more of the formula is compliant to the protocol, and the ingredient claimed as non-GMO is available in genetically modified form, and neither the NSF non-GMO mark nor the full certification statement are displayed on the product label. I'm sorry, the slide didn't proceed. So thank you for listening in. This concludes our presentation. So please feel free to reach out to me with any questions on NSF non-GMO and dietary supplements. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. And if you're ready to get started for certification, my email and phone number are listed here, so please feel free to reach out. So now we actually have some time to answer some questions. I'm going to leave my screen up for my email and phone number. Okay.